The distinguished permanent representative of Liberia just reminded, and very rightly, this council of its responsibilities towards this situation that we are discussing. And the two briefings we have heard today are, in fact, calls for action. The situation as presented is grave. The figures quoted speak for themselves. Deputy Special Coordinator Ramiz Al-Akbarov provided the crux. These are not isolated developments. These are interconnected steps building on decades of conflict and occupation that are undermining the prospects of the two-state solution. And Deputy Executive Director Hannah Suleiman informed us of the wide-ranging humanitarian consequences of what was happening in the West Bank, especially for children, and again rightly called for protection. The Council must respond because the situation in the occupied West Bank is deteriorating rapidly. What we are witnessing is a clear pattern of coordinated illegal measures designed to entrench the occupation, alter the demographic and territorial realities on the ground, and undermine the prospects of a Palestinian state. Settlement expansion has reached an alarming scale. The expansion of settlements in the E1 area, the launch of the Crimson Thread project, and the settlement activities in the heart of West Bank are all part of a broader effort to fragment the Palestinian territory. This is accompanied by unprecedented settler violence. The West Bank has experienced its largest displacement crisis since 1967. Furthermore, expanded unlawful Israeli authority over land registration, administration, and enforcement is compounding de facto annexation in violation of UN Security Council resolutions and the ICJ advisory opinions. Alongside these measures, the continued withholding of Palestinian revenues is severely undermining Palestinian institutions. These revenues belong to the Palestinian people and must be released immediately and in full. We are equally alarmed by escalating provocations at the Al-Aqsa Mosque, Al-Haram Al-Sharif. On 24th July, the group of 8 Arab Islamic countries in their statement have condemned the continued mass incursions by settlers. The cumulative effect of these mutually destructive policies and actions is intimidation, dispossession, and forced displacement, thereby perpetuating the cycle of occupation and annexation, all in flagrant violation of international law. Madam President, in Gaza, the humanitarian situation is extremely fragile. President Trump's comprehensive plan to end the Gaza conflict provided an important opportunity to alleviate humanitarian suffering and advance a credible pathway to Palestinian self-determination and statehood. This opportunity must not be allowed to be squandered. Pakistan has welcomed the positive developments under the Board of Peace towards the implementation of the Gaza Peace Plan and Resolution 2803. We appreciate the mediators, including the US, Egypt, Qatar, and Turkey, for their sustained efforts. However, Israel's continuing military escalations and recent rejection of the roadmap risk undermining this diplomatic process and jeopardizing the prospects for peace. In view of the concerning developments, the international community and this Council in particular must act without delay. First, the Council must ensure that Israel, the occupying power, immediately halt all settlement activity and reverse all unlawful measures aimed at altering the status, character, and demographic composition of the occupied Palestinian territory in line with relevant Security Council resolutions, including 2334. Second, settler violence needs to end immediately, and those responsible must be held accountable. Third, the Palestinian people must be provided international protection, as also requested by the Palestinian president in his letter to the Council. And the Council must respond to the 4 recommendations concerning protection that were made by the UNICEF representative today. Fourth, Israel must respect the historical and legal status quo at the holy sites, including Al-Aqsa Mosque, Al-Haram al-Sharif, and halt all provocative actions. Fifth, Security Council Resolution 2803 and the comprehensive peace plan must be implemented fully and in good faith. The Council must have a serious discussion how to tackle the obstacles and violations. Madam President, as the foreign ministers of the group of 8 Arab and Islamic countries, including Pakistan, affirmed on 6th August in their statement, the ongoing Israeli violations in the Gaza Strip cannot be viewed in isolation from the attacks carried out by settlers in the occupied West Bank, the unlawful expansion of settlements, and the unilateral measures aimed at altering the status quo in occupied Jerusalem. Taken together, these practices constitute a systematic policy aimed at imposing a fait accompli by force, undermining the foundations of the two-state solution. Madam President, the situation is approaching a dangerous tipping point. Unless this trajectory is reversed, the consequences for the two-state solution and for peace and stability across the region could be catastrophic. The path to peace is clear. It lies in ending the Israeli occupation and enabling the Palestinian people to exercise their inalienable right to self-determination through the establishment of an independent, sovereign, viable, and contiguous state of Palestine based on the pre-1967 borders with Al-Quds al-Sharif as its capital. It is the only credible foundation for a just, lasting, and comprehensive peace in the region. I thank you.
I thank the representative.